If you want to make 6 figures a year straight from your laptop, you might be ignoring a skill that you already have to earn a remote income in just 6 weeks. As someone who's done exactly this, that's the honest truth. My name's Mike Swigunski, and I'm a freelance writer, best-selling author, and a contributor for publications like Forbes, Entrepreneur, and a few others. You may have heard of my story already. It's been featured on all sorts of media outlets like CNBC, New York Post, Lonely Planet, Entrepreneur, you name it. The point is, I live wherever I want in the world, work on my own schedule, and have been doing this for over a decade. So you could say I know a thing or two about working from anywhere and making a good bit of money while doing it. If you're not convinced already, I have over 300 5-star reviews on my #1 best-selling book, have traveled to over 100 different countries, and even built one of the fastest growing companies in the United States, all while doing it from the comfort of my laptop. Best of all, this whole journey got started in a tiny little town in Missouri. But today, my mission is to show you how to go from zero to paid with the skill of freelance writing. Now, I've helped people all over the world become thriving digital nomads with my program Copy Sharks, the Freelance Writing Bootcamp. But I'll explain more about this later. For now, I want to ask you a question. Can you imagine doubling your salary in a couple of months? How about jetting off to Thailand with a new laptop lifestyle? Or how about getting paid $80 an hour for your dream writing gig? Well, that's exactly what we help students like Jacob, Jason, and Maxine achieve shortly after completing our program. Now look, I know some of these results can seem a bit crazy, but that's why I'll explain my whole strategy here in this video. By the end, you'll see exactly why all of our students get results and how anyone who can speak and write in English can start earning a solid income in just 6 weeks. So if you don't love what you're doing right now, don't feel like you're earning enough, or just want to work on your own schedule, then well, you're missing out. It doesn't have to be this way. I've been helping people level up both their lifestyle and their income through freelance writing for years now, with some seriously stellar results. So you see, this is why we have all 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, hundreds of successful alumni, and a proven track record with everyone we work with. In the next 15 minutes, I'll reveal the strategy behind all of this, something I like to call the freelance freedom formula. Stick around, as this could be the most important video you watch this whole year. The freelance freedom formula contains 4 key ingredients. Number 1, choosing a top dollar writing niche. 2, building a profile that creates trust. 3, leveraging sales and marketing. And last but not least, communication and fulfillment. Now, let me explain why the approach that most people take is actually pretty terrible. Seriously, guys, you do not want to do this stuff. Most people think they need to spend a year learning to code, figuring out drop shipping or affiliate marketing, or even getting caught up in some crazy cryptocurrency scheme just to make $1 online. Now, this path not only takes way too long, but it can also be crazy expensive. If you're trying to get started today and earn within a few weeks without risking tons of money and potentially wasting lots of time, you need to tap into a skill you already have. But most people don't do this. They commit to learning some new things that they're totally unfamiliar with, spending months, if not years, getting no results, and then forgetting most of what they learned. For instance, let's say you do what I did. A few years back, I had a decent corporate job, but I really wanted to work for myself. I tried starting a few businesses that honestly didn't work out too well. I started a drop shipping store, tried to make money as an affiliate marketer, and dove into countless other side hustles. In the end, I spent a good 2 years and a lot of cash, and all I had to show for it was a bunch of half-finished projects that actually cost me money instead of bringing in any profit at all. It was super frustrating, and seriously, I almost wrote off my dreams entirely. But what if there's a better way? And there actually is, and I think that's why you're here right now. What if you could put a skill you already have to work for you instead of trying to reinvent the wheel? Then what if you could leverage these same skills into real-world jobs and start earning in just a few weeks? Now, you tell me, what sounds like a better path? exhausting yourself learning some scary, unfamiliar new thing, or doubling down on something you already know how to do but aren't currently using to get paid. If you haven't figured it out already, I'm talking about freelance writing. Yes, writing, the skill you've been learning since grade school, can be used to earn a solid six-figure income straight from your laptop, from anywhere in the world. Now, this isn't the type of writing you did in high school, but it's not totally different either. Like I said, you probably already know how to do some of this stuff, but you just need some guidance on filling in the gaps between where you are now and where you want to go. So to that, let's talk about the first ingredient of the freelance freedom formula. Choosing a top dollar writing niche is the very first thing we hone in on in Copy Sharks. You might think, I know how to write, but I don't know what to write to get me paid. This seems difficult on the surface, but once you know the types of writing that are the most in demand today and not what worked 3 to 5 years ago, you'll have more jobs than you know what to do with. And I'll let you in on a little secret without giving away the whole program. Tens of thousands of people are getting laid off every month right now in the United States. I know everyone is saying there's a recession and jobs are hard to come by, but with freelancing, it's actually the opposite. Believe it or not, in today's economy, there's currently a huge shortage of experienced freelancers. And there's a substantial demand for people who can do this type of work. You see, many companies have figured out that it's cheaper to outsource the tasks they used to have full-time staffers do over to freelancers. Now, this benefits the companies as they don't have to pay out full-time salaries, provide health benefits, or rent out office space. On the other hand, this benefits you as it's created a very unique situation where companies are willing to pay out top dollar just to get work done. And they don't care if you're doing it from your laptop instead of having to clock in at some office. Right this very second, 50% of Fortune 500 companies are scouring the web for these types of people. And they've started to look at services like Upwork to have articles, guides, memos, and even proofreading sent out to freelancers. Best of all, these are jobs that anyone with a native level of English, and of course a little help from our program, can dive into immediately. Okay. Now, the fastest growing and most straightforward platform for actually getting freelance work is called Upwork. There were over $4 billion of transactions run through Upwork just last year alone, and it's growing at a rate of 24% every year. Those are huge numbers, and it just goes to show that we're in the middle of a freelance revolution. With everything happening in the world lately, the way we work has changed forever. A lot of people are getting ahead of the curve, and we want you to be one of them. Now, I like to back up pretty much everything I say here, and that's why I'll show you a few freelance writers working on Upwork. Here, you can see Samuel and Dave, who have both earned upwards to $300,000 on this platform alone. And this doesn't count the earnings they've made off the site since they started freelancing. For a top 1% content writer, like those we produce in Copy Sharks every single week, these rates are not actually that uncommon at all. Now, that could mean $80 per hour to create 10 articles for a travel blog, writing engaging product descriptions for an online store, helping a new business write its ebook, or even editing memos for big companies. Almost all of these clients have money and space in their budget to outsource these tasks to someone else. But while they have money, they don't have the time or anyone on staff to do these otherwise pretty easy tasks. Now, that's exactly where you come in. I mean, really think about it. Businesses always need content written, and most aren't paying full-time writers to sit around the office and wait for tasks to pop up. By becoming a freelancer, you can provide a necessary set of skills to countless businesses that need to use the written word to present themselves in the best light possible. This is the reason why I've been able to make a steady six-figure income every single year as a freelance writer. This is exactly why we created Copy Sharks, to show others the same path. If you're curious, I'll give you the general roadmap you can look at right now. So with freelance writing, you're probably wondering now, how do you actually go about doing all of this? Well, we've talked about a few of our ways students are making the big bucks in this training already, but trust me, there's so much more, and we are really just scratching the surface. But I think you get my point. You have to know what's actually in demand and paying top dollar if you want to start quickly making money online as a freelance writer. But you also have to make sure you nail ingredient number 2, which is building a profile that people trust. Here's another little secret I'll share with you. Most people who sign up on freelance platforms have no idea how to make a presentable profile. Chances are you don't want to attempt this yourself. It can be deadly. This is just something I have a lot of experience in, and most people aren't rock stars at making nice profiles online. It happens to be one of my areas of expertise, and that's why a whole section of Copy Sharks shows you how to make a profile that people trust. A lot of this stuff isn't super obvious and isn't something you're just going to figure out on your own. Guys, I've reviewed and audited thousands of freelance profiles, and I know a thing or two about presenting yourself to be more marketable. Best of all, you don't have to be a social media expert here to create a solid online profile that people are willing to throw money at. The plain fact is, most people totally neglect a few key points of making an awesome freelance profile. And if you can master these with our help, you'll be ahead of 99% of freelancers today. Again, this doesn't mean you have to use social media, create a website, or anything like that. You just have to follow a few simple instructions for creating your profile on freelance sites. Most people end up trying to freelance, having no idea what's actually in demand, and having a profile that actually scares away any potential customers. It's not hard to tell why this doesn't work. It's just not a winning formula. And as someone who's actually made some of these mistakes before, I can tell you that going at this alone is a slow grind. And you can waste years of time trying to make it work for yourself while other people who are actually in the know are taking all of the good jobs. But my formula is designed to help you start winning jobs quickly. In fact, 78% of our graduates end up landing a paid gig within 2 weeks of finishing the program. And the remaining land a gig in the first month after completing Copy Sharks. And it doesn't stop there. Once you start landing jobs, you'll rack up early wins that snowball into getting more and more work. Now you're getting paid and building an online income you can manage from basically anywhere in the world. This creates what we call leverage. You start building real-world experience in different types of freelance writing jobs where you're actually creating real value for clients. Our program gets you out into the market as soon as possible, and you learn from doing while having the help of experts. That covers the technical skills, but that's not all you need to learn. In Copy Sharks, we actually show you how to leverage these abilities with our third and fourth ingredients of the freelance freedom formula, specifically by using sales and marketing and then mastering the actual fulfillment process. And really, the best way to do these things is by learning from people who've actually done it themselves and by quite literally copying and pasting what's already worked for them. This is where learning from an expert really comes in handy, and you can follow the ins and outs of what's already working instead of having to experiment. I know. Sales and marketing might sound super scary, but we've simplified the process to be as easy as copying and pasting and filling in a few blanks in our tried and tested pitch templates and process. In other words, we tell you exactly what to say to clients and when to say it. That's right, you're not getting on the phone, cold calling, sending emails, or anything like that. All you have to do is follow our step-by-step process, one we spent years refining until we found the perfect way to guarantee you have an endless stream of work. This process works so well that we've taken people who've never sold a single thing in their whole life to having a steady stream of happy clients coming to them day in and day out, all from the Copy Sharks method. So how did we do that? Well, we condensed all the information you need to know into just 6 weeks of learning. We took all of the best parts of our collective 10 years of experience between the two of us, boiled it down, and put it into an easy to follow, fun format that yields results. Next, we actually show you how to start fulfilling real jobs online and even set you up with one by the end of the program. That way, when you hit the open market and start applying, you'll already have a real published piece of content under your belt, a very solid achievement for any writer, let alone someone new to the space. For instance, instead of giving you a whole semester on grammar and syntax, we show you the essential parts of content writing to start getting paid without boring you through a semester of English classes. Like I said, if you can write and speak in English, you're ready to go. This is why my partner Thomas and I created Copy Sharks, because we wanted to show people the fastest way to actually get started making money on the internet. We kept meeting countless people who were lost and just really struggling to make things happen, and we knew we could fill a clear knowledge gap that existed in the market today. Because when you do these things with the help of experts, it goes way faster, and honestly, it ends up being cheaper in the long term. Specifically, when you start to consider the opportunity cost of spending another few months, if not years, not bringing in any profit from all of your efforts. Sometimes all you need is a little push in the right direction to gain confidence and to get to the next level. If this sounds like you, you're not alone. Countless people have gone through the program already with similar hangups, and if you want to see for yourself how it worked out, you can check out some of the reviews right here. So when we built Copy Sharks, we really had one mission. We wanted to build the fastest way to get people started with earning an online income without wasting years of time or effort. We wanted to make a program that costs 10 times less than what you'd get at a college, but also one that nets you results pretty much straight away, as opposed to having to wait years to start actually profiting. In reality, we wanted to get people a return on their investment in just a few weeks. Finally, because we're a lean digital program without any physical offices, tons of staff, or bureaucracy, we can offer our services for 1/10 the cost of anything comparable, including what you'd get at a university. Better yet, both of your instructors have real-world experience in content writing, running full-on writing agencies, pushing over 7 figures a year, publishing a best-selling book, and writing for prestigious publications like Forbes. At best, most university instructors have super dated experience in the real world of making actual money from writing, if they have any at all. And that's not to mention all the templates, resources, and cheat sheets we give you as a member of the Copy Sharks, including worksheets showing you where everything should go on a written piece, checklists that are making the writing process easy breezy, and course notes with pre-made pitches you can send to clients, where we tell you exactly what to email them, and so much more. Now let's review some frequently asked questions most people have before joining Copy Sharks. First off, how long does this actually take? So we created a 6-week curriculum that you can see right here, but of course, it's totally cool to do it at your own speed. We designed this program for working people who may not have the full-time availability, so when spending just a few hours a week, you can reliably knock this out in just 6 weeks. Okay, so next up, many people are wondering, what are my realistic chances of being successful here? Tons of people are terrified of failing, and honestly, I don't blame them. One of the reasons you want to monetize a skill you already have is that you may be tired of trying and failing at other things and want to invest in a sure bet. And look, most people are pretty nervous when they start something new. It's super normal and not something to be concerned with at all. Our program is structured to eliminate any chance of failure, and this is why we have a 100% success rate with getting our students paid jobs. Next, a question we've been getting all the time is, how do you compete with cheaper freelancers who live overseas, or even brand new AI programs that can write automatically? Well, the truth is, there's definitely levels to this stuff. As a high-paid, top-tier freelancer, you don't try to compete with simple jobs that can be done by people for $5 overseas, or any type of AI program. As a freelance writer in our program, you'll be taking on slightly more complex tasks that are really out of the bounds of someone living in a developing country, or what any program can realistically do, or will be able to do at any point in the future. Better yet, in one of our modules, we actually show you how to use assistants and programs like ChatGPT to improve and shorten your own writing process, making it so that you make more money in less time. Another thing to keep in mind here is that the types of clients you'll be working with want to invest in content. They see it as a serious, necessary part of their business that they're not looking to throw to a soulless program or some random person overseas. If this were a problem, we wouldn't still have writers charging over $100 per hour. But as me, my partner Thomas, and countless other high-paid freelancers just go to show you, there's a ton of money to be made right now. So next question, how much can I actually make? So as you've seen already here, freelancers are making good money. But let's look at the stats. 60% of freelancers make more money freelancing than at their previous job. This statistic aligns with our students' results as well, and almost everyone finishing our program earns a higher per hour rate than what they were doing before. But how much can you really expect to make here? Well, I'll give you a specific answer too. So most freelancers in the United States currently charge between $30 to $45 per hour. But really, our goal here is not to settle for the norm. It's not uncommon for many of our students to land specialty writing gigs paying between $80 to $100 per hour after they've graduated from Copy Sharks. All right, so I think you get the picture here. Before we wrap up, I want you to hear directly from a few Copy Sharks alumni who honestly say more than we ever could about our program. program. First off, we have Jason, who was fully booked up with clients within just 2 weeks of finishing Copy Sharks. He was able to replace his full-time income at a breakneck speed and jetted off to Thailand not too long after. But hey, don't take my word for it. Let's hear directly from Jason himself.
Within 2 weeks of starting to submit the proposals, I mean, I'd done 5 in 2 weeks, and within that time frame had those 2 clients that I got out of there. So it was a very, very quick turnaround, and I just needed to do a trial article for both of them, and they loved the work, and it happened very, very quickly.
And next we have Jacob. Now, he's not your traditional freelance story. Jacob went from being an organic farmer, trading a back-breaking job working in the field, to doubling his income in a matter of just 2 months as a copy shark. This has since allowed him to spend more time with his family and eliminated his 3-hour-a-day commute entirely, as he's now able to work from his home in his PJs.
So Mike actually helped me get 50% more salary. My name is Jacob Olsgaard. I currently reside in America in the state of Iowa. I used to be a farmer, and now, thanks to Mike and his team, I have a fully remote position.
And last but certainly not least, we have Maxine, who landed her $80 per hour dream writing job within just 2 weeks of finishing Copy Sharks. Let's hear directly what Maxine had to say here.
So it took me about 2 weeks to land my first gig, and it's paying me $80 an hour. So I have really experienced a transformation between before Copy Sharks and after Copy Sharks. And Copy Sharks really gave me the confidence and the tools that I needed to succeed and to find work on Upwork. I really am so happy and so excited, really on a path that I had never believed that I could really follow. And I 100% give Copy Sharks credit for my ability to find this gig.
All right, guys, so you've just heard from a few of our success stories here in Copy Sharks. You've heard from Maxine, Jason, and Jacob, who have undergone a huge transition in their professional and personal lives through freelance writing. Now, luckily, they made the decision to actually join up with us and start freelancing. Honestly, I hate to think about what could have happened had they not. Jacob, for instance, could have been stuck on his farm for another 5 years, hardly being able to see his family and unable to provide them the life they all deserve. Jason, on the other hand, would have never been able to realize his lifelong dream of exploring Thailand. And for Maxine, well, she would have never landed that dream $80 per hour writing gig without our help. Listen, there's a saying that my dad used to tell me all the time: the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is today. I know how it feels not to have the life you've dreamed of, but calling on my own experience, every day I stood still was a day I wasn't working towards my goals and achieving my dreams in life. All of the people you've seen here today made the decision to get started, and you can see how well it worked out for them. I don't want you to think for even a second that they're all that different from you. In fact, their journey got started by clicking on the button below, scheduling their first ever freelance freedom call with my team, and diving into the world of freelancing. Anyways, I won't make this too long. I think you understand the opportunity I've put together for you here. So click that link below and let's schedule a call. And just for showing up on time, I'll give you a free copy of my best-selling book, Global Career: How to Work Anywhere and Travel Forever. Again, it's totally free for you just for joining the call. But one last thing, please keep in mind that if you see any available time slots, I'd suggest jumping on them straight away, as since reopening Copy Sharks a few weeks ago, we've been getting crazy demand for these calls. So I hope you're ready to take the first step on your journey to financial and location freedom. Okay, guys, let's get started. Click that button below to schedule a call, and I'll see you on the inside.